I'm Rolando.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Eddie Z.
And this is Remakes, Reboots, and Revivals,
An original podcast
about unoriginality.
And yes, your ears do not deceive you. We are here after a long hiatus, but there's a reason for this long hiatus. We were waiting for our return to come back because there is important news that I'm going to let Nicole share.
Let's get some news. That's the last time you'll hear that song that you love so much.
God
Rolando.
bless.
The reason we have taken a hiatus and the big news that we have to share is that I am retiring officially from the podcast. This podcast, I believe, will continue on without me, and I will be making guest appearances, but in every episode occurrence, I will no longer be a part of. We've been doing this for like 5-6 years, and it just felt like the time was right, you know? So I'm going to miss it. I've already missed it. I was so excited for this recording and this kind of being my last full-time episode. But it felt like time. So, and the right content to end it with. Because I was going to suggest How to Train Your Dragon, but I'm like, that's not special.
I also don't care for them. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It should have been Lilo and Stitch, but I think we were all busy.
We were. And also, that also didn't feel special.
What? It's Lilo and Stitch. You know what? This is good riddance, Nicole. You're not on the show anymore. I can do whatever I want.
Thank you for that. See.
No, Nicole, of course, we haven't had an episode because we were debating at one point whether or not me and Eddie should just continue without you, which we plan to, right? We're going to continue the podcast, but it would have been weird to continue immediately without you and not have like a final episode.
Yeah.
So we've been holding off on recording new episodes as a result, but we do have more episodes planned. Obviously, there are a never-ending slew of remakes, reboots, and revivals. So me and Eddie have you covered on some older stuff too, stuff that has passed, but whatever. It is what it is, guys.
Yeah. And again, I definitely am going to be bugging them and be like, are you guys covering this particular property? Because I have stuff to say.
And then I can reply, we'll see. But yes, Nicole, tell us, who wrote that email that just made you had enough? Someone did, right? Is that what it was?
I shall
Someone
not be naming
you?
names,
Okay.
but...
All right. Well, do you want to tell us what we're recording today?
Yes. So in honor of this last official episode, I thought it needed to be epic. Lilo and Stitch wasn't epic enough. How to Train Your Dragon wasn't epic enough. But I feel like Superman is pretty epic. With the release of James Gunn's new revitalization of what they're calling the DCU, not the DCEU.
It used to be the DC expanded universe or extended
Something
universe.
like that, yeah. So they've rebooted their own franchise, and they're doing it with, yet again, a reboot of one of the most well-known, classic, beloved characters, Superman. And so it felt fitting. And it was kind of like an event movie that like everybody was seeing, and we wanted to get our 2 cents on it. You know, there's a lot of talk about it, and it's coming at a really interesting time right now for movies, for our country, and there's lots to talk about. So
there is.
Now, the first thing to talk about is Superman your guys' like, I'm talking to 2 comic book nerds, people who grew up reading graphic novels, loving comics. I don't know where you guys stand on DC versus Marvel.
I was a DC reader. Eddie was not.
I'm a Marvel.
You're a Marvel reader?
Yeah.
Okay. So then your relationship with Superman.
Not a good one.
Really?
I never liked Superman. So when we talk about like the Superman movies at one time a few years back, and Christopher Reeve's Superman I only saw like maybe twice in my entire lifetime.
And just the first one?
No, I saw part 2. Obviously, you had to see
part
two.
two.
Yeah. Like part 2 is the one with Zod, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that one actually. I've seen that one more than I've seen the first one.
Did you see the original or did you see the Donner cut?
No, I have not seen the Donner cut. I've seen the original one, not the Donner cut.
Okay.
Nor do I have any interest in seeing the Donner cut, to be quite honest.
Superman 2 is perfect as it is.
I like the Superman 2. Yeah, I don't think it needs. I thought it was fine. I don't think it needed improvement. But I also have never been a big Superman fan. I was always a Batman fan. So I read Batman comics. I would read the occasional Green Lantern comic here and there.
Okay.
And I got into Shazam, like collected editions of them after college.
Okay.
But I was never a big Superman reader because, like, he was like all powerful. And it's just like not
So
mine.
interesting. So you say not a good one. It sounds like you just don't really have that relationship with him because I thought maybe you like really hated this character.
But the funny thing is, I do. Like, so
Superman?
I even though I've read most of what I like to read in comics is Marvel, but what I've loved in movies have been Superman. So my love for Superman comes from like Christopher Reeves, those movies,
Yeah.
all the television shows that have been made throughout the decades.
There have been many.
Yeah. But I remember that being one of like the first movies I remember seeing as a little kid, like on VHS or something. But that's like my first memory of like superhero was Superman.
And did the movie like prompt you to like pick up a Superman comic?
It's funny. Well, not at the time, but later on.
Later on.
Or definitely be more interested in that origin story.
Yeah. The main Superman comic I've read growing up was Superman Red Sun.
Yeah,
which is the alternate universe in which Superman, what if he landed in the Soviet Union, which is a great arc.
Okay.
Right? And it's fun. But again, maybe the reason I never gravitated towards Superman was because like Christopher Reeve Superman was the first instance, like my first connection with Superman. He was always so like goody. And I also then grew up on the animated series, the Superman series.
Okay.
Which was another one where he's just kind of a goody two shoes, and I've just never, as a result, like kind of jived with that. So that's why I liked Red Sun, because I think Red Sun gave me an opportunity to like appreciate Superman in a darker tone. Like, what if he is a symbol of the Soviet Union, and it was cool.
And he's no longer a goody two shoes.
He does a lot more things that are questionable.
Okay.
In terms of morality.
Okay, interesting. And that's what you look for in a character. I guess that's what you respond a little bit more to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so my relationship is that not a comic book reader, strictly a movie watcher. Did not grow up watching Superman. I grew up watching Batman a lot, the Tim Burton Batman. But I knew of Superman, and I just always had I knew of the show, The Adventures of Lois and Clark with Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain, I believe his name is.
You used to watch that?
I did. My mom watched it. So by default, I watched it. And of course, the animated shows, the Justice League one, I remember a lot. And I think I even still remember that song. And I was more aware of DC characters growing up than Marvel. I didn't really know anything about Marvel until the movies kind of came out. So to me, though, Superman and Batman have got to be, outside of Spider-Man, probably the biggest superheroes in our culture.
I want to say there was a list of the 100 greatest characters of all time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Superman tends to just be slightly higher than Batman. Because Superman is I feel like his story is a little bit more iconic, an alien from another planet, adopted by farmers in Kansas, Smallville, and goes on to become the symbol of truth, justice, and the American way. You know what I mean? It is a story that's just easy to remember. With Batman, obviously, he was an orphan, he's a billionaire. I don't know, maybe it's less relatable.
Maybe. Well, because everybody knows what kryptonite is, I feel like. That's become a word that's entered our lexicon. But Superman has the greatest longevity out of all of them. If we're going to talk history, they were making Superman animations, 10-minute short films back in the 40s. Which, by the way, if you watch those, I did watch one in preparation for this episode. They were done by Fleischer Studios, which in the late 30s, early 40s, was pretty much the top studio, which was a rival with Disney. Then they got bought out and stuff, and Paramount would distribute them. And they were these 10-minute short form, beautiful Technicolor cartoons of Superman.
I've seen them.
And I mean,
I used to have
40s,
them on VHS.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They were pretty astounding.
I guess those would be my earliest. Now in retrospect, I think those predate. I remember seeing those before I saw the Christopher Reeve Superman. I didn't like them.
You didn't like that? Really?
I didn't like them as a kid.
Interesting. Well, okay, but there's that, right? I know Batman also had serial movies, and of course the Adam West show in the 60s was there. But before that, the George Reeves show that was on television, the black and white television show with George Reeves.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, he was very popular as Superman. I think he even made a guest appearance as Superman in an I Love Lucy episode.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
I remember seeing that episode, yes.
Right? And so Superman was just like, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Like he was part of pop culture. And so it's only natural that he would be the first one to get like his big serious movie. Because again, Batman movie came out in the 60s, but those are kind of comedies. And they're just like way more fun. It's still probably my favorite Batman movie because it's so much fun. But after the success of Star Wars in the 70s, they were like, let's try our hand at Superman. Massive success. And it was like the first time that I think a superhero movie was done seriously as like a big blockbuster movie and a success.
Right.
And I remember when superhero movies weren't big?
Yeah.
How every so often a movie would come out that was huge, and then other superhero movies would come out and they wouldn't be that great.
Yeah, like when Spider-Man and X-Men both came out, and then soon we had
and then the Hulk came
Catwoman,
out. Yeah, Catwoman.
I did like Ang Lee's Hulk, but like
the Fantastic Four.
It did get a sequel though.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
And now,
when Superman came out in 1978, Flash Gordon came out in 1980.
Well, okay. Are you hating on Flash Gordon?
No, but people don't take that movie seriously.
No, it shouldn't.
Also,
but it's so good.
But yeah,
movie.
it's a campy movie.
It is a very
campy movie.
I mean, the outfits alone.
It's one of those things that
Clean.
I think Flash Gordon. Yeah, I like Flash Gordon.
I like it too, but it wasn't the level of the Superman movie from 1978. After Batman came out in 1989, I think Dick Tracy came out like the very next year, which was fun. And which is a good movie, the Warren Beatty, Dick Tracy.
Of course.
But then like
with
The
Madonna.
Rocketeer came out.
She deserved an Oscar nomination.
I think the song did. She didn't get it. I know. Her only chance. The Rocketeer came out. Do you remember that movie?
Is that a superhero movie?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Blade ended up coming out later on in the 90s too, but like none of them just reached that level of success like the Batman movies did. So for like the longest time, it was always those guys. And I feel like the 1970s Superman, kind of like was so successful that any future Superman was kind of destined to just not perform as well.
Or it would always be like, it would always be judged against that.
Yes, because Christopher Reeves ended up just putting a stamp on that character. Like, I don't think any Batman or Spider-Man has put a stamp on that character quite the way Christopher Reeves was able to put a stamp on Superman.
Yeah. I would agree.
What do you think, babe?
I'm trying to think. I think that might be true. I guess maybe. I feel like maybe Christian Bale's Batman has kind of become like kind of that, which a lot of people were trying to judge all Batmans going forward.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I'm not saying, not for you, but I think a lot of people do hold like the Dark Knight, the Batman, that series of Batman movies, like the one that they're going to judge all Batmans up against now.
That's such a shame.
Well, excuse you. This is not about that.
Let's not jump into my opinions on the new James Gunn movie, but thank God the age of gritty superhero movies is over.
Fair enough. Yes. We could just say it right now. Like, yes. Like, I think the James Gunn's Superman definitely put an end to that gritty superhero. I am not in disagreement with you when I say that, like, it's just like, it kind of long overdue.
Yes.
I think so. Like, I think all the studios trying to give us like that real gritty remake or real gritty superhero just became overdone. Now all superheroes need to be gritty and
It worked for Batman.
It does. It works because it's supposed to be like, gothic in the shadows. However, I am kind of excited to see how they do a James Gunn Batman. Like in that universe.
Yeah. And okay, we'll get there soon enough. We still have a couple other Superman iterations to talk about. We're not going to spend too long on them, but 1978 Superman, whoops, only saw this recently for the first time.
You only saw it recently?
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't grow up with it, so this is like, I saw it like a week ago.
So you saw Marlon Brando for the first time as
Jor-El?
Jor-El.
I did. I had no idea what I was kind of in store for. I knew, Margot Kidder was at Lois Lane. I knew Gene Hackman was in it. I knew Marlon Brando was in it, and I know the music. That's it.
Yeah.
I was kind of, do you want to hear my...
Yeah, what do you think?
Sure, go for it. What do you think?
Please.
I thought it was pretty good, but I was also like, wow, it takes an hour for Superman to enter this movie?
Yeah, this might be why I like Superman 2.
Yeah.
More so.
I was kind of like, whoa, like, this is weird. Like, Christopher Reeves is not the star of this movie. Like, first of all, Marlon Brando was top billed because he's Marlon frickin' Brando. But it's also because Christopher Reeves is not really in it. And it just kind of like took me aback. I do think that the first hour was a little slow, which I also, though, appreciated that it took its time with. The actor who played General Zod too, thought he was in a Shakespeare play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, the commitment he brought to that character. Terrence Stamp, fantastic.
He terrified me as a kid.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's so good. Let me just pause really quick and tighten that a little bit more. I thought Christopher Reeves was great. I honestly thought he did such a good job. I mean, I didn't like his Clark Kent as much.
Interesting.
I liked his Superman more. I thought Lois Lane was fantastic.
Yes.
I thought Gene Hackman was a complete goof. And so was his sidekick, Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty.
And I was just like, okay, this is seeing other Lex Luthors. I was like, this is not my Lex Luthor. I'll say that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. He was my Lex Luthor for the longest time.
He's a lot of people's Lex Luthor, I think.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I take that back. I mean, yes, in live action form. My Lex Luthor will always be the animated series Lex Luthor, who I also thought was black, by the way. I don't know if you ever got that feeling vibe from him.
I don't think so.
You took him as white?
Green Lantern. Are we talking about the animated series where there was a black Green Lantern?
Yes, that's also part of it.
No.
Interesting. What's it called? Before the Green Lantern showed up, and he was on the WB, I felt like he always presented more black, and I was always surprised when he's a white man. It's just like, wow, really?
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's very fitting that Lex Luthor is white.
Yes, I think if you know the character,
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like Jeff Bezos now, right? Jeff Bezos looks like
Lex Luthor. Like he's fashioned himself off of that. So, I mean, I thought the movie was good. I was surprised at how much it took its time. Movies kind of nowadays feel a little rushed.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of appreciated that about the movie. I mean, the score is fantastic. Love that he turned the world around for Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't really feel that much of a connection in their relationship, but I still love that he did it. Overall, I mean, it's solid, but it's nowhere near Batman. 1989's Batman.
I would
Tim Burton.
agree. So the Donner Cut, if I remember correctly, the Donner Cut is parts 1 and 2 together, right? As one single film.
Yeah, so what happened was that Richard Donner shot 75% of part 2.
Uh-huh.
And then he got into a huge disagreement with the producers and they fired him.
Oh.
And so when they were ready, and they were like, let's just finish editing number 1 and release it. It's huge, right? Superman's huge. So they're like, okay, cool. We could either take 75% of this film and hire Richard Lester to finish it, but then they actually had a union issue with it. So Richard Lester pretty much reshot most of the movie himself to be considered the director.
Oh, interesting. So now I have not seen.
So yeah, so they ended up just redoing a lot of it. So the Donner Cut is that 75% footage saved, mixed with some new ones in there.
Got it. Okay.
Richard Lester being more of a comedic director. Now, I didn't see Superman 2. Is Superman 2 a little bit more comedic?
I don't
Richard
remember
Donner's a little
comedic.
serious.
It's what's it called? It's it's just Zod and him fighting for a majority of the movie.
Okay.
Which is kick-ass him and his 2 minions and stuff. It's good. It's a good movie. It's not. Yeah, I think part 1 is just slower.
It is. It definitely is. Now, I have a question about Superman that is more comic book. And now my whole stance for this whole episode is going to be what exists in the movies will always exist in the movies. It doesn't matter whether or not it happened in the comic books. To know it is cool, but it should exist on its own.
Sure.
This whole thing of him, finding pretty much the piece of ice, I forget what it was.
The crystal?
The crystal that leads him to the Fortress of Solitude and that teaches him for 12 years of Jor-El. Is that canon?
I think it depends. They've messed around with the origins so much at this point.
Okay.
That because I think we're not even the New 52 anymore. I think we're in a different one, Rebirth. I think at the moment, so I can't speak to it. I don't know. I remember correctly. I believe when he discovers a Fortress of Solitude, he does Jesus spent time exploring the world. He does do his training there for a while before he becomes Superman that we know.
And the whole Superman, is that his birth name or is that a name that
Superman,
Lois Lane gives him?
Superman in the comics, I don't think he was. I think Superman is a name that the Daily Planet gives him.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 70s movie got that part.
Simply, yeah. He's not like Jor-El was not you are Superman. It's not.
Yeah.
No. I mean, we know that his Kryptonian name is Kal-El.
Kal-El, yeah.
Kal-El.
Okay. So that's his name. It's not Superman. Got it. Okay. All right. Those are just some questions I had. I did think it was pretty good. I think that every other Superman movie after it, for a while, did not hold up like this one did. Because I remember I saw Superman Returns in theaters.
Okay, you saw it in theaters?
I saw it in theaters.
Wait, how do you see it in theater? Well, if you didn't see Superman, like, because that's a sequel. That's one of those like sequels. That was just one of the earliest sequels as like kind of undoing some of the other sequels, right? Because it takes place technically supposed to be taking place after part 2, but before part 3s and 4.
That's interesting. So I didn't know any of that when I came in.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
I did
So
not.
Superman Returns is supposed to be canonically after part 2.
So
and it's supposed to rewrite basically part 3 and part 4.
it ignores
It erases them,
and
basically.
it ignores Supergirl, right?
Yeah,
Because
but
Supergirl also
we don't
came
talk
out
about
in the
we don't talk
80s.
about Supergirl.
Well, we're going to in this episode. So I didn't know that. I saw that movie in 2006 when I was on a vacation to LA.
Okay.
And I went and saw it at, I think, ArcLight or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, this was after, I loved Spider-Man when it came out. I saw the movie like 5 times in the theater.
Wait, do you
Yeah.
like Spider-Man 1 or 2?
My favorite's 1.
Really? I
know a lot of
I think
people
I
love
think I have
2.
2.
I have a special place in my heart for 1.
It's good. It's great. Like,
Mhm.
Defoe is like one of their best villains, but I think
Hell yeah.
2 is just like, oh, that's just like, for me, that's like peak superhero cinema.
I got to rewatch 2 then because I know the first one like the back of my hand.
Although the first one did give us that great scene with when the green goblin blows up Aunt May's home. And mind you, she's like an 80-year-old woman who just survived an explosion.
I love that's the scene that you're like, that great
That
scene.
is such a yes. The memes that have come out of that scene is so good.
Yeah. God. Well, period is that at that point, with this whole like X-Men and like the movies we were talking about, I wanted to give Superman a chance. And with Batman Begins coming out the year before in 2005, and this was like when superhero movies were like sort of cool, not like fully like dominating the culture quite yet. So we thought it was a good idea. It was terrible. I was so bored.
It was boring. And
was
the color
boring.
palette was so desaturated and boring that I don't know why that became the template going forward because, like, Zack Snyder would also follow suit even more so desaturating his colors.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Superman Returns is a much more boring film. It's like meditative almost of this idea of like, what does it mean to be Superman when you've turned your back on the world and now like the world has kind of moved on. I guess it's kind of an interesting storyline, but like the thing is it wasn't done very well.
It just wasn't executed that great.
Yeah, it just wasn't. And okay.
I mean, the new element that they did bring to that movie is that him and Lois had a baby.
Yes. So there's a super baby.
There's a super
Well, we didn't know
Superboy.
it was the super baby until the end.
We suspect.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
You don't remember the super baby?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so Lois Lane had a child, and for the majority of the movie, we're led to believe that it is her current lover's baby. But at the end, we reveal that it is actually Superman's child. That like they conceived in part 2.
Is that canon that they have a child together? Him and Lois?
Oh yeah, no.
Well,
there's several instances with-
yeah. So
Okay.
it's John Kent. John Kent is their son.
That's his. Okay.
Yeah, which is Superboy, who's bisexual.
Really?
There's also, I thought he had 2 sons.
Well, in
Or am I making that up?
Superman and Lois,
they had 2 sons.
they have
Okay.
twins.
Yeah,
2 boys.
He also has a
Oh.
clone that he kind of does raise almost as a child, which is
that's in the comic books.
yeah.
Okay.
which is
Okay.
which is a genetic mix between Superman and
Lex
Lex
Luthor.
Luthor.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they had a kid together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because Lex is basically in love with Superman. If you just
Yes,
boil it
yeah. If you just flip it, it's an obsession.
It's a love story.
But funny thing about Superman Returns is that the man that Lois is married to in that is the actor that plays Scott Summers in the
yes,
X-Men.
James
Marsden.
Yes, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have much to say about this movie. I just think that it was a total flop because it just was not done that well.
Yeah.
It was
wasn't
boring.
interesting.
It was a boring
yeah.
film.
Yeah.
It was. I too. I went to see it. I was excited, but I think this film dropped the ball mostly on like Lois Lane. I didn't like Kate Bosworth as
Yeah.
Lois Lane, to be quite honest.
Yeah, Margot Kidder was so dynamic and had so much personality, and you can't really say that about Kate Bosworth, unfortunately.
The famous line in that movie is when he catches her when she falls from the helicopter that crashed on top of the building. right? The Daily Planet, and she's falling, and he catches her, and he goes, "I got you."
It's like,
and she go, "You got me?
Who's
got you?"
Yeah, and she says it's so
Oh,
good.
right.
She
It was
says it's
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margot
So
Kidder.
good.
That kind of became a defining role for her too. Like,
Mhm.
what else do we know Margot Kidder from? So
Black Christmas.
Black Christmas. Yeah, she's.
Yes. He had
Maybe a bad
that.
example.
He had that locked and loaded.
I did.
Nicole.
We
Because
covered that.
He's like,
yeah,
if
we covered
Nicole
it, and I
says
was-
Margot Kidder has never done anything else.
and I remember, I will never, because like she was the best thing of that movie, to be quite
She
honest.
was so good in that movie.
What do you think of Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor?
I thought he gave it a shot, and I mean, he's a piece of shit, but Kevin Spacey's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, you can
I think-
separate the art. You can give compliments to the art while
Yeah.
still criticizing the person.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think that he did a good job, delivering on the campiness and the kind of tomfoolery that Gene Hackman put in his original role, especially because he kind of was playing Gene Hackman.
Yeah, but he had a little bit more sinister edge to him.
He did.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit more. You could definitely see the evil.
You could
Maybe that was
and
deep
that's-
inside of
yeah, I
Kevin
was
Spacey all
gonna say,
along.
Kevin Spacey was really good at always the evil was there.
Mhm.
So
Now we may know why.
Yeah.
I guess, right?
it's like, oh, he wasn't acting.
he was just projecting.
Yeah. Now, a movie I haven't seen and I need to hear your thoughts on, and I'm sorry, I downright refuse to, is Man of Steel.
You've never seen Man of Steel?
I'm not a Zack Snyder fan.
Okay, I'll tell you right off the bat. I actually was in the camp of liking Man of Steel when it came out.
Okay.
And, well, Levi. So Levi, my bestie.
Mhm.
Like, we were both in the two defenders of that film in our group of friends because most of our group of friends did not like it
Okay.
because they did not like the dark tone that they gave Superman. What did me and Levi resonate with? The dark tone of Superman. Be like, oh, we kind of like seeing a little edgier Superman. It was, because up until now, he'd been so boring. The issue with Superman is that you have the powers of a god amongst men. How can you make him a little bit more interesting? I think Zack Snyder's idea of like, okay, what if we give him all this power, but now we have this question of like, is he 100% a moralistic person? And because of that, it kind of makes Superman a little bit more interesting. That's not to say the franchise was interesting. That's just to say at least Man of Steel had an interesting idea that we kind of explore a little bit.
Okay.
And you had some solid performances specifically from Michael Shannon as Zod. And, the opening sequence of the film, the first act, which is also the Krypton,
Okay.
is another one that's just shot nice. It looks cool. That could have been its own movie on its own, right?
So there was no
similar to-
Luthor in this?
Luthor isn't there. Is there Luthor? No, there was no Lex Luthor in this one because
Not in this one.
Lex Luthor doesn't show up until the next one, Dawn of Justice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
and it was
just
Jesse
Michael
Eisenberg.
Shannon. Got it. Okay. I see that we have a cast of Henry Cavill
Henry Cavill, who was
or Cavill. I don't know.
Henry Cavill. He looks like
Henry Cavill. I didn't know who it was. I was like, I'm looking at the
Who?
cast and I'm like, who is Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill
Henry Cavill.
You're a mean
is
one.
a
Mr.
gorgeous-
Cavill.
gorgeous man who
Henry
Like,
Cavill.
He looks the
like,
part.
he looks the part.
yes,
Most
Did he
definitely-
act the part?
Yes, I think so.
for this role.
Yeah.
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 Definitely. I definitely
Okay.
felt
More than
I
Brandon
felt-
Ruth?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was definitely a much more memorable Superman over Brandon Routh. Now,
Okay.
my main
Ralph.
issue.
I keep saying these guys' names wrong.
My main issue was always that this is not because Eddie feels like I'm always coming for Amy Adams. I'm not coming for Amy Adams. And I put
Uh-oh.
that here.
Hates Amy
Adams
I love you,
Just
Amy
had
Adams.
a shitty role to work with.
Okay.
That's what I'll say, right? This is not me critiquing Amy Adams. This is me critiquing the role they gave this Lois Lane. Because let's be real, Lois Lane is supposed to be a Pulitzer-winning journalist. How do you make her one of the most boring characters in the movie is beyond me.
Really?
And then you give that, you waste it on Amy Adams. It's just like, well,
Seriously.
And mind you, she played Lois Lane for 3 movies.
3?
Yeah, she was in
Oh,
Dawn
she was
of
in
Justice
Justice
and
League.
Justice League.
Damn. Wow. I mean, I know a lot of people hate on Amy Adams. I'm a big Amy Adams
Who hates
fan.
on Amy Adams?
hates
Why
on
would
Amy-
you go
A
on
lot of
Why?
people hate on
¿Por
Amy
qué?
Adams.
Hate
A lot
on?
of people think that she's bland and that they don't like
Bland?
her.
Is it?
I'm not-
wait,
I'm
are you
not
talking
part
about
of
physically
this.
though?
Maybe they're
That's not
just
fair though. She
No.
has like thin lips. That's it.
I mean, I think
What?
she's beautiful. I don't know. I think she's not only beautiful. I think bitch can act. And
I think so too.
I mean, Enchanted. She could do that whole cartoon character and actually give them heart and make them feel real.
That reminds
It's
me. Yeah.
impressive.
And then we saw Disenchanted.
Yeah, she did
Part 2,
great.
and she did great too. Yeah, she
She
played
did
2
great.
roles. It's just like, oh,
Mhm.
you did great. No, yeah, I like Amy Adams. And that's why I think she was a little bit of a she wasn't disappointed. It was the character that they wrote was a disappointment.
Okay.
Have you seen Night Bitch?
I haven't seen that yet.
It's good.
You saw it?
Yeah.
I gotta see it. Yeah. I skipped that one, but I'm definitely going to see it. So I see we also have Kevin Costner and Diane Lane were in this movie, and Russell Crowe was Jor-El.
Yeah. Russell Crowe was Jor-El, and Kevin Costner and Diane Lane, they were Martha Kent and John Kent.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
And the big controversial scene in this movie is the fact that, like, we get flashbacks of, like, Jonathan Kent raising Clark Kent, telling him to hide his identity. The world's not ready for you. So, like, there's a scene where, like, there's a tornado or something, and, like, Superman can save all these kids, but, like, I think his dad was just like, don't.
No. His dad got caught up in so everyone had fled to the shelter, and when he turned back, he saw his father was still far away, and the tornado was about to was about to be on top of him.
Yeah.
And then
Superman
Clark looks at his father, and his father goes,
yeah, so because he didn't want his powers to, like, so he dies and stuff.
Oh.
And that's, like, always been, like, a big point because a lot of people didn't like that.
In my mouth.
And I agree, like, in retrospect, I understand why it's kind of stupid. It just is, like, because Superman could run fast enough to, like, get him and bring him back and not necessarily bring attention to anything. It's just, like,
there's a lot of things there. There
was bad writing.
I think we always, I think there's always these kind of elements that we see in Superman and we see kind of in the hero's journey, but it's almost like the hero doesn't, the male who takes on the mantle of hero doesn't fully become actualized until his parent or his father has passed away. And then that
that's one of the hero's journeys.
Then that's when he becomes like the man.
Yeah, that almost kind of is like part of like the Joseph Conrad monomyth too, is that there is always that impetus that makes them cross over. So you bring up a very good point. What's canon? Does Jonathan Kent die before he becomes Superman or not?
No. So in the comic books, Jonathan Kent, most instances, Jonathan Kent is always alive.
Yes.
While he's Superman.
He's Superman, yes.
So
that's a movie thing.
There's actually a great comic. I was actually at the comic book store today because I was trying to look for this particular comic, Superman. I forgot the name of it, but Superman. But it's written in the perspective of his father.
Okay.
So it is Jonathan Kent looking at his son and seeing his son become the man that he is now, and talking about that through his eyes too. And I just love that it's written in his father's perspective.
That's cute.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
I gotta find it.
All right, so Superman. That's okay. I was wondering about that because, like, in most Batman movies, we never meet the Waynes. I was like, why is sometimes the father alive, Jonathan Kent alive, and why is sometimes Jonathan Kent not?
Yeah, it really depends ultimately on, like, what they're trying to tell. See, like, I think in the TV shows, usually the parents are dead, actually, usually. Except Smallville.
Smallville has, we lose his father later on.
Okay.
Maybe 5th or 6th season, we lose his father. And that's also too, I don't know what happened with the relationship with the actor, because I know probably something troublesome maybe. But that was also too, like, when his father passed away, I was like, it didn't do anything for the story.
He just dies, and that's
he dies, and now they have to live without him. And Martha Kent now is she's a widow, and dealing with that. And so you have that, okay. But I loved the relationship that he had with his father. Like, the whole father-son dynamic worked so well with him. And I just felt that was just because he gets older doesn't mean he doesn't need his dad. So.
The last thing I wanted to say regarding Superman and
Man of Steel
is that they gave this Superman, like, Snyder was not subtle with, like, this idea of making him like a Jesus Christ figure. And I don't say that like I'm being wholeheartedly, like, so much of the imagery was like literally like Superman, like, doing like the cross figure, in shots and stuff. Like, they really tried to make him out like as the Messiah.
Well, it was. I mean, originally it was a Moses figure for the first movie
in the Man of Steel.
In the first one, the 1978.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because like he's a
Mm.
Jewish character.
Moses.
We forget that. A lot of people forget that. Like Superman was created by 2 Jewish writers,
Oh,
right? Who were
important to know.
escaping Nazi Germany.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
the immigrant story is very important to the Superman mythos. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know what they're talking about at the end of the day.
Most
so-
definitely not.
Which I'm amongst them right now because I don't know that much about Superman. So thank you for sharing. So Man of Steel was a huge hit when it came out, right? Like at least financially.
I don't know if it was like the biggest hit. I think it underperformed what they were expecting it to, but it performed well enough to get like greenlit for a sequel. Oh yeah, I mean the big thing was that Superman kills, right? Superman killed Zod.
Oh
which,
yeah.
So
and he
far,
never
leading up,
kills.
all the other instances, Superman does not kill, and like that was like everyone was just like that's too dark and stuff, and I was just like it's fine. Like, Superman killed, so what? But then obviously that question of like him killing is what kicks off. Like Batman has to come in and like kind of rein him in because like how can you have this god amongst us
killing. Yeah. And that's when
he wasn't even
Superman-
kill a human. He just killed a person. But I mean, and I had to bring this up again too. Oh, sorry. It's just that James Gunn had to not clean up, but like he had to like kind of make up some things that like the Man of Steel did or make up for, right? Because Man of Steel, for example, one of the big scenes is like him and Zod, a lot of people die. Right, like that's a big point of contention for like the story that like a lot of people died because Superman was so reckless in his fight with Zod.
Oh.
And as when we talk about the new James Gunn film, we know that is a very different take on how Superman acts, which one is more authentic to the comics than the other.
Are there any other versions of Superman we want to shout out before we get into the James Gunn one?
I mean, Smallville. A lot of people saying like this is the James Gunn film is like the spiritual sequel to Smallville.
The 11th season.
Yeah, I understand why. Like, because Smallville also had kind of like that heart to the show, and like he was really so much of who Superman is because of his upbringing with his family, and that's something very much present in this one, right? Like in this one, I will argue, even though they don't get the most screen time, the Kents are one of the most important characters of this film, the new James Gunn film.
Yes, I would agree with that. Was there any sort of petition for Tom Wellington to be in this movie?
Not that I know of. I don't think he doesn't really act that much anymore.
He doesn't?
I think he came back as a cameo as Superman for one of the Infinite Crisis. On Nicole's face right now, it was just like I just said words to her, like another language. The Infinite Crisis is one of the big comic book events in which like all the universes merge. So it's canon in all DC movies that like all these stories do exist within the same universe, have always. Technically, so does James Gunn's movie exist still in that universe that we are in.
Okay, cool. Fun fact to know while we, I guess, talk about the new Superman, the new James Gunn rebooting of there's no more DCEU, it's just the DCU, and this is the first film of that. I think next is going to be Supergirl.
Supergirl is next. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
That's what it's called?
That's the name, yeah,
Wow.
based off of the comic book.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that Gunn gave very specific influences for this movie. I don't know if you guys know about that, but
go for it.
He said his inspirations were from All-Star Superman, the comic book series from 2005 to 2008. He was also inspired by the Superman animated shorts that came out in the 40s.
Okay, I could see that.
Superman, the animated series.
Okay, I also see that very much so.
And other comic books such as Superman Birthright.
Birthright, yes.
Superman for All Seasons.
Yes, so that's the one written through the eyes of his father.
That one? Superman for All Seasons? Okay, interesting. Kingdom Come. And Whatever Happened to the Man of
Interesting
Tomorrow.
Kingdom Come, because I feel like this was not very Kingdom Come-ish, but sure.
Yeah, the one from 1996.
Yeah, I've read the Kingdom Come,
that one?
like graphic novel collection and stuff, and this is not it.
Okay.
Well, it's not it yet, right?
Maybe that's
because
what it is. Like, maybe
so
he's building
way
towards
into the
that story.
future.
Yeah.
This is an older Superman that Kingdom
True.
Come.
Something people who are listening should know is that James Gunn is also a person who he wrote the Scooby-Doo reboot, the movies with Freddie Prinze and Sarah Michelle. He didn't direct them. He directed Slither and Super before he made the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. And at some point while he made that, I think after the second one, he got in trouble with Disney.
He made some I think like
somebody resurfaced some tweets.
Of, like, they were like, I hope jokes in bad form, like eating babies or something, right?
Yeah,
it was I think there was like
stupid.
some rape jokes and like some eating baby jokes.
Yeah,
but they were like. it seemed like edgelordy stuff that he was just trying to like do, and it's like I don't know. Sometimes context matters. You know what I mean? Like he was literally responding to some tweets and stuff.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they weren't like unprovoked. Like he was literally responding to something.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day,
I try to be funny.
I'm sure every single one of us could get, like, someone could resurface something that was like, look at this. You're an asshole.
I'm sure stuff I did yesterday.
Yeah.
People could cancel me about.
But Disney fired him, and then there was like a huge petition for him to get on board to finish the third Guardians of the Galaxy.
And they did bring him back.
And they did. But then that's pretty much when he left Disney.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it's good to know, dear listener, because a lot of people think that he brought that energy that he feels about Disney into this movie.
Okay.
So
I can't say...
something to think about. Well,
interesting. Okay.
Or at least remember that that's, you know, his
But like
kind of
make
stance.
it really good.
Maybe.
Like I'm gonna make this movie so fucking good that this is gonna be so jelly.
So opening thoughts about the movies, about this movie. What do you think? So fucking good?
I enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed it. It's definitely a movie that I want to see again. I haven't said that much about recent movies, but this one definitely I want to see again. I love the color palette.
Mm-hmm.
Love the color palette. I love the kind of the vibe of like 80s wardrobe-ish throughout this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kind of, I don't know what it was going for. I wasn't clear on what it was going for, but I did enjoy it. It kind of made, it was comforting in that sense for some reason. And, you know, I didn't know if the dog was going to work. I wasn't sure. And so, there are moments where I'm still not sure, but damn, I did enjoy the dog.
You thought
Crypto
while watching it, there were still moments that you don't think the dog worked?
No, in the sense
Get
of
out.
whether if I loved it, but I love Crypto.
Yeah, Crypto. No,
Who doesn't love Crypto?
Crypto stole my heart. Like,
No.
what a well placed character. Like you,
Yeah, because at some point I remember as a kid, it was like there was a dog and there was a horse too, and you know there was like
you had an entire farm. Yeah,
it was
There's
like,
a cow.
There was like
There's a super cow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
Found
just
out.
like, and super. Maybe I can't, but yeah. So when we're gonna go with the dog, I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. But yeah.
Yeah, because like the dog did feel like just a marketing gimmick. Like it's just like, okay, something to sell at toys, but like it became one of the favorite characters. Like, and there's a reason why, and very smart of James Gunn to introduce it early on and take it away for the rest, a good chunk of the movie until the end, basically, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like smart. Like
Yeah.
he gave us we connected to it, then we miss him, and then we get him again. It's just like love.
Yeah, and you heard that they like adoption rates for dogs have skyrocketed after
Yeah.
this movie, or
Yeah.
they've gone up
Interesting.
because of the success of this movie.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about the movie, Rolando?
I liked it a lot. I actually kind of left the movie feeling a lot more hopeful in general. It kind of came out at the right time, right? This is a movie that just came out at the right time because so much of our news, of our, I guess, state of being at the moment feels so negative and so almost like you don't realize how cynical you've become until you get a movie like this that kind of feels so hopeful, so positive that you're just like, I've become so jaded, right? And it's crazy that maybe it's the right thing that Superman is the one to kind of lift those spirits up a little, right? And granted, it's a movie, it's a comic book movie, right? Why should I be feeling this way for a comic book movie? But so much, I feel like of the media that I've been consuming has been just as cynical and jaded as I have been feeling.
Yeah.
And this one is quite the opposite. This was like a burst of positivity. And yeah, I think just because of that, like, is why I did leave coming out like saying it's like this was a good movie. It came out at the right time.
I definitely think this movie has really good timing. I think this is a movie that I really liked. I didn't love it, but I liked it. There were some things that I felt were a little forced.
Mm-hmm.
The humor is the first thing that comes to mind.
You thought the humor was forced?
Some of the humor, I'm like, this doesn't entirely work for me. Maybe it's the delivery by the actors. Maybe it just was the fact that every 2 seconds felt like there was a joke. And I'm like, okay.
Are you talking about Mr. Terrific?
I thought I liked Mr. Terrific.
Oh.
I mean, for a while it might have been Green Lantern, even though Green Lantern won me over, and I do really like Nathan Fillion. I did laugh sometimes, but not all the time, I guess.
Well, it wasn't Rachel Brosnahan, I hope, right?
No, she was very good. I liked her as Lois. I thought she brought really good energy. She was a really good, like, after Margot Kidder, like, she kind of brought that energy.
Yeah, she had fantastic chemistry with David Corenswet's Superman, which is something that I think lacked between Henry Cavill and Amy Adams.
Well, and that's important too. Yeah, they did have really good chemistry. I'm a little upset that Crypto was not once a real dog. Like it was a CGI dog
really?
the entire time.
Interesting.
I was like, they couldn't use a real dog just freaking once. which is a little very uncanny valley for me, but that's just me, I guess. And it was really refreshing that the fact that Superman saves a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Loved that. The fact that he wants to take this intergalactic alien and find somewhere for him to live.
Mm-hmm.
Loved that. I thought that was really freaking sweet, and I did love it. But then there were other things that closely mirrored reality that at the end of the day just upset me, because I'm like, there are no Supermans.
You're talking about the war between Baravia and Janapur?
And of course Lex Luthor.
Okay, well, we can't do anything about Lex Luthor. Our world
I guess we can't.
Our country's currently being run by Lex Luthor.
Which is
funny because Lex Luthor does become canon president of the United States at one point in the comics.
Well, oh my gosh, there you go. I don't know. So it's more so that. It's some of it, the forcedness, or I'm the kind of there were some action sequences that I thought were freaking stellar. The Mr. Terrific one with Lois Lane,
yes.
and I thought that was fantastic.
It is great because it gives us from the point of view of Lois Lane, who is in awe. Mind you, she's around Superman all the time, and yet here she is still in awe.
Yeah. I thought that was really great. I really did love Mr. Terrific, which is so funny because I didn't know that was a real character. I just thought it was a made up character in a Golden Girls episode.
He's a real character.
He's
Not one of my. No, I don't know much about him, but I've seen him in Justice League Unlimited. I feel like,
and he has his own comic book
series. I love him. Can't wait to see more of him. Kind of wish there was more Hawkgirl, but I loved the energy Hawkgirl brought to it. I guess for me, it was also the whole point was, let's throw yourself in the middle of you're picking up a comic, right?
Mm-hmm.
That James Gunn has gone on the record and saying I wanted it to feel like a Saturday morning cartoon, or you were just picking up and all of these people are just there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you know them, it doesn't matter. Just go with it, kind of a thing. And that was the energy that it was bringing.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fine. I think for me too, it was also the whole thing just felt so much anti Jack Schneider in a way.
Oh, most certainly. This movie definitely,
which also was okay, I get it. You don't have to go so much in the opposite direction, I guess. But I liked it. I'm not complaining. I think that this is a good movie. I just didn't give me that love factor. It didn't make me cry, which I think the movie was trying to go for. I didn't really get that emotional response out of it. But I would see Supergirl. Now, what I'm a little also, I'm wait a minute. We spent that whole movie with Crypto. It's not even his freaking dog.
That was funny.
But it's
hilarious.
All right, so the funny thing was, now it makes sense when Lois asks, is your dog? And he's like, oh, it's kind of a foster situation. Oh?
Did he say that?
Yes,
yes. I must have missed that.
And then it's he's not such a good dog. So it's so funny because it was
because he's also a farm boy. If you think about it, right? He should know how to train a dog.
Yeah.
Of all people.
But it's it's I had to bring the dog because I was afraid he's going to kill the cows.
It doesn't make sense why he's so unruly, but that's also just Crypto's charm. So I guess those are my opening thoughts on the movie. Now,
the squirrel scene, I just want to point out, that initially it tested bad.
Really?
It did not test well, and the studio kind of wanted to remove it. And James Gunn has a cut where they removed it, and then he was just watching it. He's like, no, I want that scene back. I need my squirrel scene.
Yeah.
And I think it was the right call because, again, much like in Man of Steel, so much of the carnage was at the expense of the people.
Yeah.
This one shows how much this Superman goes out of his way to protect all life.
Yeah, which I loved. And that's probably a thing that other people might feel are forced. Other people might say is woke. I enjoyed about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner?
Loved the hair. That was just such a brilliant character choice.
The hair reminded you is canon. That's what it does look like.
The which is great. I love that.
The look is canon.
I love he was I'm sticking with that hair.
This guy's a fucking jerk.
Yeah.
Spot
100%,
on.
yeah.
Spot on.
I mean, yeah, I really liked him. At first, he came on a little heavy, but then he fucking won me over, especially with that whole Justice Gang stuff. I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
And the character, Metamorpho,
Mm-hmm.
I really loved him. I mean, he's the one that broke my heart. I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I wish there was more of Hawkgirl. She was just kind of there. And what's that scene where they all, Lois goes for them for help and they're all no? What's happening again? Why does she go for them for help?
She needs help finding Superman because he might be in a alternate dimension.
Yeah.
And, the Justice Gang doesn't really want to get involved because of, he was arrested by the government.
They're back on him right now and stuff.
And and so that was a funny scene, if only because of
I'm
Nathan
sorry
Fillion.
to say, but it felt very ICE detention.
What?
Feeling because he gets, at this point he gets
Oh, when he got arrested?
Arrested
Oh,
by the
yeah. No,
government,
those
right?
super soldiers felt very much
And
like...
it's like...
Yeah.
It is important to say this movie was in production long before Trump took office. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, this was in post-production while Trump was in office.
Mhm.
So, a lot of those similarities we see, these happen to be coincidental, as is the war between...
Moravia.
Yeah, like, that happens to be coincidental. Timely, sure, but, like, it was coincidental. Which I'm surprised that Warner Brothers did not try to, have him edit, like...
Any of that down,
Like,
yeah.
like
But that's
one.
one, especially because I'm glad they didn't, because it becomes a moral question about when you have so much power, do you have the right to interfere in other governments, right?
Yeah.
And the whole question, am I an American citizen or am I a citizen of the world?
Mhm.
And this is when we have to, this is not my idea. This is not an original thought of another podcaster had mentioned this in a podcast I was listening to, but they spoke about Superman is less of a policeman and more of a firefighter.
Oh.
I like that.
I apologize. I don't remember the person who said it, but it was on my reel. And I thought that was great. It hit hard because it was just like, yes, that's what he does. He's just there. He's a hero. He puts out fires. He saves people.
Yeah.
That's his goal. I need to get people out of the line of danger and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also why he saves animals as well,
Mhm.
too.
And tried to save like that monster thing, right? He was actively
and it's funny
going out
because
of his way to try to save it
I mean-
versus the Justice Gang who just like, we're just going to kill it.
Yeah.
we always look for this too, but it's interesting because we understand that there is outer space, like there's aliens, there's like a whole intelligent life Federation idea out there
Mhm.
because you have the Green Lanterns,
Right, so we know.
right? So we all know that. But then is the casual that the whole scene when he's talking to Lois and the Justice Gang is like fighting this this creature, interdimensional creature, and he's like not even worried about it. He's like,
Mhm.
oh, it's just like one of those space nymphs.
They have it handled.
Yeah, they
Well,
have.
What I love is, the reason is because he's so sad at that movie, right? He's like, I think it might be one of the lowest. It's not the lowest part he's in the movie, but he's already hit that low point right before he gets arrested. But he is just like, he's so worried about his dog. You know what I mean? That's why he's just like, I gotta go out and look for the dog. Like, it's scared.
Which is so sweet, too.
Yeah, they did a really good job of creating a very sweet Superman.
Yeah.
As opposed to the hyper-masculine Superman that we got with Man of Steel. This one is much more EQ focused, right? The emotional quotient.
Do you think he came off as arrogant in his interview with Lois Lane?
Not arrogant. I don't know if it came out as arrogant, more like as just like he's so assured of himself, right? But that's why I think it was a good thing. That's why I love that. I actually do love that scene, right? They're tete-a-tete. Because, A, it shows you how just smart Lois Lane is. And I feel like this is one of the few times in film that we get to see like Lois Lane like being like smart and like we get to see her journalistic edge. We used to see it with Margot Kidder, and even by 3 and 4, like we just like ignored it that she's a journalist. She's just a love interest at that point. In this one, like she is a journalist first who happens to be dating Superman, and we do get to see where his mindset comes, right? And he has this belief like, oh yeah, like I'm here to protect people. Like he just, not that he's arrogant, it's just like he just is so, he knows he's so strong, he knows he's so powerful, and he believes that like he was brought here to like protect everyone, and this is his duty and stuff. And then we get to see, that's why it was a good plot point for the rest of the movie, because then we find out like his parents sent him there to become a god. I think,
Yeah.
right?
His biological parents.
So is that
played by
canon?
That's different.
Played by who, babe? Who was his parents played by?
Oh, Bradley Cooper, and Eddie thought it was Lady Gaga.
For a second, I thought, is that Lady Gaga with Bradley Cooper?
I actually did not.
Superman's parents?
I didn't know it was Bradley Cooper throughout the entirety of the film.
Yeah, he did
You
it.
did it?
No, I didn't
Oh my
realize.
God.
I had to tell him.
I immediately was like,
I
wow,
had to
okay,
tell him.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Eddie's. I think it was the second time they show up, like when Lex Luthor arrives to the thing. Eddie's just like, you know who that is, right? And I was like, no, who is it? He's like, it's Bradley Cooper. That's why I thought it was Lady Gaga. And I was like, oh, I truly, that one flew over my head. Now you ask like if that's canon, like that he's sent to be. I don't. As far as I know, no. But unless it's one of those comics that I'm not a big Superman reader, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah.
Usually he was always sent to Earth because like they knew he would be powerful because of the Earth's sun,
Okay.
and that's where he would be safest. It was never. I think usually it's like protect man, like that's what they send him for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that was way more interesting.
Yeah, right. Like to find out that like it's just like, oh shit, like my whole life has been predicated on a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And then we have the whole nature versus nurture that comes into play here. You know, you get the first when he first comes into the Fortress of Solitude, he's like, play the message of my parents, right? So he goes through that, you know, his birth parents, and then you see something different when it ends. When he says, you know, play that of my parents,
which was the sweetest. It was like the sweetest like moment when you're seeing videos of like the Kents.
Yeah.
Spoiler, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, spoilers. Always spoilers.
At the end, he realizes who his real parents are,
which is lovely. I mean, and you rarely get to see outside of Smallville. You rarely get to see the Kents play a big role in like the life of Superman. Yeah, except for with the exception of being in Dawn of Justice, right? When like Batman is beating him up and like he says Martha for some reason.
What did you say my mom's name?
Why did you say Martha?
It was crazy. Coincidence.
Well, it definitely gives this like message where it's like home is where you make it, you know, family is what you make of it, and you like write your own story and you are your own person.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like he thought this whole time what his parents meant, and they meant something completely different. And like he realized who at that moment he really was deep inside. And this whole idea that he is an alien, he's an immigrant, you know, it's like he was adopted. He's just a person that has never belonged, but he like made his own sense of belonging, which is this really sweet message to have with a superhero movie, where it's like, you know, you write your own fate, and it's like at the end of the day, it's there's no such thing as nationalism. Like you don't owe yourself to a country or to whatever. It's like you are your own person, and you make your own way. Which I think is why a lot of people thought it was woke. Because you even said it earlier that Superman is, what is it, truth, justice, and the American way?
Yeah, that's how he always used to be described. Like,
and he's just not an American in this movie. He's a human being.
Well,
he's not, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He considers himself to be
more human than
human. Yeah.
And mind you, Superman Returns, I think, is the one that like the first time that we remove that. Does he stand for truth? Yeah, that was a line in Superman Returns where the chief, he was just like, does he stand for truth? Does he stand for justice? For all that stuff, right? They omitted the American way. Mind you, we are deep in the Iraq War at that point, right? So, and the Afghani War. So, you know, there was a reason why, like, to omit that, right? Because what does the American way even mean anymore?
It's true. And, you know, like, Superman was created at a time where I'm sure it was really, really great and proud to be an American. And not everyone feels that way anymore. Like shit changes. Countries change. States of things change.
When did...
But even in a time where maybe we needed...
1938.
When we needed to come together as...
Yeah, when we needed to come together as a people in a country.
As a people, a country. You know? And then to have something that symbolizes the best of all that, the best of us.
Yeah.
The Superman. But now we're reflecting more on, you know, if you want to simplify this story, an immigrant beat a billionaire at the end.
Yeah.
Which, fingers crossed, might happen in New York City.
So, but, and I think this is where crypto worked, because Superman was not going to beat up Lex.
Luthor. Yeah.
He wasn't, you know, he knew that. But we needed as an audience to see Lex
kind of
get his, you know? And there's something so beautifully poetic about Lex being so defeated that he cries, you know, that he's actually crying, you know? But there's something like so like beautiful in that defeat that he's experiencing.
Well, it's also so important. Like he has, you know, passageways to other dimensions. Like he has this whole world at his fingertip. And he got the shit beat out of him by a dog. You know, it's just like that reminder that people need, where it's like these billionaires, you know, they're not untouchable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
they're not.
Be careful of orca whales, too.
I don't want. Yeah. Took me a second.
Oh, have you seen that meme that came out?
The new Fantastic Four.
It's like like the last 4 summers, like the summer has decided to destroy the life of a billionaire.
And it's always random. Yeah, 1 year was with whales. Yeah, I saw that.
It was like the whale, the Titan incident, Then Luigi Mangione was last summer. And now this one was the Coldplay concert.
Coldplay concert.
Oh my gosh. There was one other point I wanted to make about
we haven't talked about Nicholas Hoult. I mean,
as Lex Luthor.
I guess we could just say right now, like, great casting overall. Like, James Gunn and WB knew what they were doing with the casting here. I think a lot of people were nervous about David Corenswet as Superman because I think, shockingly, a lot of people were really in uproar that, like, Henry Cavill wasn't coming back. But, like, the movies weren't popular enough for him to come back, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think, if you look at the box office, it just did not perform as well as, like...
Well, they needed
Friends
that
Return.
separation as well.
Yeah, but, like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, he was in Twisters. I forgot. Like,
he was like the...
He was like the bad guy.
The bad guy, yeah.
No, I saw a video of, like, everyone on set, like, when he got the announcement, then he got the word that he was, like, cast as Superman, like, everyone on that set was, like, just ecstatic for him. It was, like, the cutest thing. The trunks, did they bother you, or did you not notice them? I didn't notice them.
I didn't notice them. They don't bother me at all.
Yeah. So I didn't notice. I mean, I noticed them. I always look for shit like that, but I didn't mind it. I thought, because there was that really feel of, like, this is a Superman coming out of the comic books. This like the Silver Age almost, where it was like it's a little more wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need my comic books to be wholesome, or I don't need my movies to be wholesome either, but it felt good anyway. And I think it was wrapped up. I think it set the tone. So when he says that kindness is the new, what is it, rock star?
Oh yeah,
maybe that's punk rock.
Punk rock.
Yeah,
you know that that was. Like,
oh yeah,
that was cool. Like, I was just like,
struck a nerve.
I was like, it's true. Like, it's been so long since I've wanted to be kind, so to speak.
Yeah,
you know, always reacting to our whatever news is going into my feed, or whatever I see is so people not being kind to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to just, like, you know what?
You feed into it. You feed into it. You know.
Let me say that I did kind of celebrate a little bit when Hawk Girl dropped that guy. And he was like, oh, you won't drop me. You're like Superman. And she goes, you know what? I'm not. And she drops him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that line, I think, was, like, also one of the meatiest lines of the entirety of the movie, when he's just like, you know, maybe kindness is the new punk rock. And it's just like, oh, shit. Like, it is true. Like, we're in the internet age,
more
just
radical.
made us so cynical, so just looking for the bad and everything, right? That, like, maybe just kindness is what is anti-establishment right now. Yeah. And if you look at it, I mean,
what is the hardest thing to do?
To love.
Kindness. I mean,
it's so easy to laugh and hate. Yeah, it takes strength to be gentle and kind.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to make a point, but I forgot about it now already.
No, I mean, the internet has totally ruined us. I mean, the internet already came for this movie. You know, I don't know if we talked about it on mic yet, but a former Superman, Dean Cain, accused this movie of being woke.
Which, I mean, what does that mean? Like, again, like, it's just like, I was expecting to go... Because I was hearing all these complaints going into the movie that I was expecting. It's just like, okay, I guess Superman must, like, get into, like, a homosexual relationship or something, or, like, we're gonna get, like, I knew it was gonna be a black Lois Lane, so maybe we had a black
what
Jimmy
is woke about it?
Olsen or something. Like, what was gonna make it woke? And it's just like, oh, him being kind. I guess that's.
I guess so.
He doesn't even refer to himself as an immigrant. He refers to himself as an alien, which is correct. I mean, sure, alien is another word for an immigrant in this country, but, like, how often do we use it? Now the word is immigrant. That's a slur.
He spoke, like, way too soon. This movie was a hit. People are really liking it all over. And I saw a meme that really summed it up. It's like, is Superman woke, or are you just realizing you're the bad guy?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Oh, that's what it is. I remember now. It's just that so much of our country has moved to this area of, like, hyper individuality. It's like me, to the point where, like, now, you know, you have some people in the South, like, saying it's just like empathy is a sin, right? It's just like, in what world did Jesus say empathy is a sin? You fucking morons. So again, this movie came out at the right time. Like, I've been feeling uber cynical, uber dark, and just kind of wallowing in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I didn't expect this movie necessarily to kind of lift me, not in a way for me to do anything different. You know what I mean? But enough to feel like I want to do something different.
Yeah.
Maybe I need another shot of positivity.
Yeah. Are you excited for Supergirl? Because as anybody who's seen the movie knows, at the end, we meet Supergirl.
Yes.
She was out partying on other planets.
Yes, it's going to be based off of the comic Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah. Which also, by the way, again, as someone who doesn't read comics and I know somehow they work her in, he spends the whole movie being like, I'm alone. And then he's like, oh, hey, cousin. Welcome back.
Well, she was
He's
partying.
not alone.
She was partying in other planets, but like this isn't.
But she exists.
But Eddie made the astute observation that he reminded me of, like, which is Supergirl. Canonically, she is technically older. That she lived in Krypton. She actually lived in Krypton.
Yes.
And then she got sent as a teenager to.
Yeah. So while he traveled as an infant, she was like
Yes.
traveling as a teenager.
But she got lost
But she
on
got
the way.
lost. Suspended
Right.
animation.
So she has like she already has like her mind developed. She has to deal with. She's processing the fact that like all her family, all her planet. Her baggage is much more different than his.
Yeah.
Where yes, he grew up believing he was the only one, and then yeah, surprise, surprise, like he finds out like in his 30s, he's like, oh shit, there's one more.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to deal with him because she's like, oh my god, like
Yeah, she said, what did she call them? A tick or something?
like my family is gone. Like she's processing this, and she in the Woman of Tomorrow, from my understanding, I haven't read it. I'm going to, but she does process these feelings a lot by partying in red sun planets to like be able to consume alcohol.
Wow. Yeah, because they can't drink, right?
Well, they could drink, but they don't have the effects of the alcohol because they
Got it.
metabolize it very quickly.
I mean, I heard a little brief
Cameo.
I actually was like, okay, I'm
So
intrigued.
we find out who's the
I'm
real
intrigued.
owner of
Yeah.
crypto
Right.
and
Well,
why
that
he's
means
so
crypto's coming
unruly. Yes, he is coming back. of
Good.
course.
Which is exciting, actually. So would you say that this is one of your favorite movies of the year?
As of right now,
So far, yeah.
yes. It's off the top of my head. I don't remember many movies I've seen this year. We've gone to movies a few
We saw
times.
Jurassic Park,
No,
Jurassic World.
Oof.
we'll talk about it on the podcast, guys.
Oh, you were
Stay
going to
tuned.
cover that?
But yeah, let me just tell you, I hated that movie. So
Oh my god, I loved it.
I will say is that
Well,
my
you know what?
least.
I'm gonna say I loved it. I really liked it.
Is my sorry,
There you
Nicole,
go.
but I just want to just talk about this real quick. It was not necessarily my least favorite. I think part number the third one of the second trilogy is still my least favorite one,
Mm-hmm.
but this one was just a rough watch.
Even more so than the last one we covered on the podcast?
That's what I just said. Dominion.
So that's the one you were talking
Dominion is easily the worst, but this one was like. I mean, this one had its moments that I liked, but
about.
like.
Snow White, worse or better?
Oh no.
Oh no!
So-
I would no. Snow White was worse.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I would rather watch
Yeah.
Jurassic.
better
I mean,
Snow
No,
White.
this
Jurassic
was
World had
entertaining.
what's it
This
called?
they had you on the edge of the seat.
Okay.
You're still your heart is beating a little.
Okay, sure. Like
Did you guys see Sinners?
Yes.
yes. Oh no, that one was a good movie.
Really good movie.
No, there's been a lot of good movies this year.
There
I
has.
will
It's
say.
been a pretty good.
And this one is another one.
Yeah.
But I think this one also, I mean, keep in mind, I think the question that a lot of people had when they were projecting this film was just like, can this movie save the superhero, film industry, right? I don't want to say that it can because there's a lot to put on a movie, but I do think it just did inspire a little bit more. It's just like, okay, maybe we can still do. And I think even Feige has just recently come out and said, it's just like, look, like Superman's kind of teaching us that like the superhero movies aren't dead. It's just that we oversaturated the market. He said it himself, right? And he's right. He did oversaturate.
They did. It's their own fault.
So, I think they're going to go back to the model like maybe one or two a year.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what happened was that they spent so long building up to, the apex mountain that was Infinity War and
Mhm.
Endgame. And then they just tried to do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And they needed, I think, a break.
Yeah.
And I
They
think
needed
that
less
the break
shows.
we've gotten from DC really helped this movie.
That's also true.
So I'm intrigued if you guys do a Fantastic Four episode, because I also think that the success of future superhero movies will reside on both the success of not only Superman, but Fantastic Four together.
Yeah. I think, again, Feige also said this, right? Like the thing with Fantastic Four is that like you can go in that one without having to see anything because like it's taking place in another universe
Yeah.
and it will connect sure to the other ones, but you don't have to know anything that's going on right now. And I
So
think that's
it's
good.
Standalone. Huh?
It is kind of standalone in that sense, right? So I don't know. I'm excited to watch it. I actually do. I like the cast, so
Fantastic Four.
yeah,
Okay. You guys are going to cover it?
probably. Oh no, yeah, most definitely. We definitely are. When? TBD.
Okay. Well, I'd love to hear whether or not you think it was as successful as Superman.
Yeah, that'll be the big comparison.
Yeah. Well, guys, tune into that episode. I won't be here for that. I'll be showing my face every so often.
What kind of episodes do you plan on like joining us for?
I don't know. Freakier Friday?
Oh, okay. So I guess we'll be seeing you sooner than later, I guess.
Maybe. Some of the probably fall movie ones that are coming, maybe.
Mhm.
But I won't be doing... I still know... I know what you did last summer.
I don't know if we'll have
Excuse me.
time for it. Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, now that
Okay.
you're no longer on the show, I guess
You have more freedom.
we have more freedom in terms of saying, because you're like, it came out like 5 weeks ago, but fuck it, we're gonna cover it now.
That's true.
We'll
Now
watch
you
it
can
at our
just take it at
own
that.
pace.
So do you have an update? Like, do you have a new release schedule for the listeners? Is that TBD?
That is kind of a little TBD. I guess you'll find out next time we release. I think we're going to be doing every other week still.
Okay.
And we'll be sticking to our original format, in which we will cover a little bit of the original, similar to what we did today, right? Cover a
Mhm.
little bit of the original one first, and then go right into the new one.
And no YouTube.
Probably no YouTube.
Okay.
We'll see. That's TBD.
Yeah. I think YouTube really is why we got drained really fast. 'Cause it's a lot of work, you
it
know?
is.
So,
It's
but
so
if you
much work.
enjoyed the YouTube videos, thank you for watching them. It was fun while it lasted.
All 5 months.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it for Superman.
Yeah. So I guess this is the last time we'll be saying this, huh?
Do we want to do a quick lightning round?
Oh, you know what? Sure. Let's do a lightning round.
Should we do Lex first?
Let's go.
Lex
we
Luthor. Eddie. Favorite Lex Luthor.
Favorite Smallville Lex Luthor.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay. Wow. I
Michael
mean, out of all of
Rosenberg.
them. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so then I think I know yours.
I might be with Nicholas Holt, though. Oh, unless we're counting the animated series.
I was going to say
Okay, animated
series.
series.
Yeah.
I think it was not Tim. Tim Daly was Superman. Who, I don't know who voiced him, but
Animated series Lex Luthor. Let's look that up really quick.
Superman, the
Lex Luthor.
Come on, look at that picture and you tell me that this guy was not black,
No, he does.
right?
He is black.
He looks tanner. Yeah. He's voiced by Clancy Brown, who also is the voice of Mr. Krabs.
Really? Clancy Brown is a voice of interesting.
Lex
Okay.
Luthor and Mr. Krabs.
Okay.
I actually think he's a magnificent Lex Luthor. A lot of times, to be honest, I prefer superhero content as cartoons. I really love all animated shows that I've seen. X-Men, Batman, Superman, Justice League,
Mhm.
Avengers. Like, I prefer the cartoons.
I would agree. It allows you to.
I think that's just the format that I mean, they're graphic novels, you know? It
Mhm.
just lends itself to that way more.
Yeah.
So I do think the best Lex Luthor is the animated one
Mhm.
by Clancy Brown. But if I were to choose a human one, it would actually probably be Nicholas Holt. I thought Gene Hackman was too cartoonish.
I agree with you. I think Nicholas Holt is currently my current favorite.
He
Lex
did really
Luthor.
good. Yeah.
He was good.
Okay. Lois Lane.
Okay, this might be recency bias, but I think Rachel Brosnahan was just wonderful as Lois Lane. I think she had great chemistry with Superman, and I just love that we got to see her investigating, right? Like, so much of her storyline happened to be like investigating like Lex Luthor's connection to the war, and that is kind of the reason that helped take him down.
I think you're right, but what you're noticing is that Lois was better written.
Yes.
Now, I think in terms of performance, I'm still going to go with Margot Kidder. Had they given had you put Margot Kidder in this movie?
Oh yeah, she
Probably would've-
well, yeah, most certainly.
Yeah.
Most certainly.
Where if you put Rachel Brosnahan in the 70s movie, you know, I think she would have done as good as she did in this movie. Like, there's something about Margot Kidder.
Yeah, maybe it's because I still love Mrs. Maisel. And
Yeah,
I was
Mrs.
able to
Maisel,
get a
yeah,
little
so
bit of that
good.
Mrs. Maiselness out of her.
Yeah.
Except that first oh my god, let me tell you, the first outfit that she wore in that movie, I thought she looked like a lesbian. Did you not get lesbian vibes from her?
I didn't.
It was
no.
those wide leg pants and that vest.
Wow, that's exactly what I wore to a wedding.
But I feel like that's so.
I mean, that is very gay. Wide leg
But
pants and a
Margaret
vest.
Kidder, I think that's also like one of her looks, though.
Lois?
For Lois.
No,
right?
Margot Kidder always wore blazers.
Okay.
Well, she always looked,
And
you know,
those, like,
kind of
big-
androgynous.
Yeah, those big shoulder pads and stuff.
Yeah, love that. I'm going to go with Margot Kidder. What about you, Eddie?
I want to say the same.
Margot Kidder?
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
she's left I mean, when I think of Lois Lane, that's the model that I have for
Mhm.
everybody else after.
That makes
I would
sense.
say so.
You know?
Yeah.
And second, Amy Adams.
It's just because we love Amy Adams. We gotta give it to her.
Yes.
All right, big one. We could talk about portrayals of Clark Kent and Superman if you want.
Okay, sure. Clark Kent.
Okay. Jesus. So you guys, you know that whole Kill Bill thing? about Superman?
Sure,
why he's
yeah.
the best, because Clark Kent is pretty much like Superman is who he is,
Yes.
right? It's not like he's Bruce Wayne. Clark Kent is his persona.
Right.
So by going by that logic, that Clark Kent is how he considers us,
Weak.
I actually think I'm going to have to go with Christopher Reeves because the way he portrayed Clark was kind of like an oblivious and kind of sometimes an asshole.
Really? You got
a little bit. A little, not intentional.
Okay.
An unintentional asshole. And I'm like, wow, is this what Superman thinks of people?
Okay.
So in terms of his read, I don't think we had enough time with the new one as Clark Kent.
Yeah, he was only Clark Kent for like the first like act.
Yeah.
That even. Oh, then he got to be with his dad, but whatever.
Yeah, but they all know he's Superman.
For me, I would say my favorite Clark Kent is Tom Welling because he was Clark Kent. But if we're going by the movies, I would also probably go with Christopher Reeves. Yeah.
Smart.
Christopher Reeves, Clark Kent is still the superior one. Maybe it's most definitely not and will never be Henry Cavill's.
Yeah. Or Brandon Routh. Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely not Brandon Routh.
Eddie?
I'm looking. Who did I enjoy? Because this guy for this movie,
you did like David Corenswet.
I did. And I like the fact that his hair wasn't exactly almost the same as Superman's hair. You know,
he did look a little different as Clark Kent.
Yeah, like he had like this whole like messiness to his hair and stuff. Oh, and I also like the fact that it's fucking Lois calls him out on this. How he got all these great interviews with Superman, and everybody's like, "How do you get all these Clark? How do you get all these great interviews with Superman and stuff like that?" And Lois is like, "I think it's a little unethical that you interview yourself. You know, all the questions.
Yeah, I did like that.
So I kind of think, I like that because I feel like that's real. That's human. Like if I can get an edge on my job."
To do it.
Yeah.
Similar to like Peter Parker.
Peter Parker
does that in Spider-Man.
Interesting.
Because how the hell does Peter Parker get
all these photos?
These like web swinging from one
to
another. How does he get the close-ups and everything?
That's true. Yeah, Peter Parker's a journalist too. I forgot that.
I'm a photojournalist.
All right, Superman.
All right.
Oh my God.
Okay, so because I know it's going to be recency bias, it probably would be David Corenswet.
Okay.
However, I will say, I still do very much like, I'm going to go with Henry Cavill's Man of Steel Superman. Because, like I said, my beef with Superman has always been, it's just like, ugh, he's too positive. Ugh, he's such a goody two-shoes. Give me some darkness. Give me some grittiness and stuff. And they did give me that with Man of Steel. They over-delivered on it. It was the problem. So Man of Steel's Superman is still, right now, my favorite. But like 5 years from now, I'll probably remember more so the David Corenswet Superman versus Henry Cavill's.
Well, 12 years from now, you still remember Henry Cavill. So
that's a good point,
something. Yeah.
You can't forget.
Because as much as I like the Superman movies from the 1970s, like, I don't, he's not my Superman,
Interesting. Okay.
But Michael Keaton would always be my Batman. Interesting enough also, right? Like,
well, yeah. But you love Batman.
I do.
You don't love Superman.
That's also true, yeah.
There you go.
So maybe I'm a fair weather Superman fan.
I think so.
Who's yours?
My favorite is the animated one. But to not do that and to actually pick a live action Superman.
Which animated one? You're talking about like the 1940s one though?
No, actually, I'm talking about the Superman series from the 90s or
really?
2000s.
I hated the Superman.
I do. I like the animated ones. But I also really like the George Reeves ones. Like, to me, I very much, when I think of Superman, I think of the 1940s.
Okay.
Like, I think he was very much of that era. And so seeing him alive, I mean, granted, it's more the 50s. It's just like, that's where Superman has always kind of belonged for me. And that's the thing, like, people were questioning, does our culture have a place for Superman? I think we'll always have it, right? But there is something but he was at his highest and, everything we know about Superman was born in this era of the 40s.
Yeah.
So I always think of him like that. So George Reeves, I think Christopher Reeves pretty much made that character and did it so well that it was hard for him to have a career after it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Bela Lugosi with Dracula, where he just was synonymous so much with it that when they made a documentary about him last year, it was the Superman story, We will always think of Christopher Reeve as Superman.
Yeah, just much like we think of Paul Rubin as Pee-wee.
Yeah.
Eddie?
Oh, Christopher Reeve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, I would. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think anybody who plays Superman it's going to be hard to escape that. You know, I mean, unfortunately, Brandon Routh has not had a career after his movie outside of Scott Pilgrim that I'm aware of. That was a successful mainstream career. Henry, Cavill outside of Superman has been in stuff.
Yeah.
But,
That's exactly how you could describe his career.
Is it interesting?
Stuff, yeah. And we'll see how David Corenswet's career will go.
Oh, wait, no, he was The Witcher. Everyone loved him as The Witcher. Then he quit.
Well, he was
Or fired?
Well, Brandon Ralph.
He was on the CW show.
He started
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow, and he actually got to reprise his role as Superman within that show.
In Crisis of Infinite Earth.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm helping you.
By stealing my sentences. Yeah, so, I mean, he did that. Yeah, he was part of that show for a while, so.
Okay.
Yeah, a career, I guess. I mean, they all do. Kind of.
Well, going from a, huge blockbuster movie to a CW show.
Well, it was a blockbuster flop.
There you go. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess Superman Returns did not. It was I know it was a critical failure.
yes, and it was
I didn't know
it was a box
huge
office.
Yeah, it didn't do the numbers they wanted.
No.
Yeah, Christopher Reeves for sure.
Okay.
Cool. Superman. All right, well.
That's it. Superman. Up and away, guys. So that is it, guys. I guess I should do the closing now. I guess I gotta start rehearsing this. So, guys, thank you so much for listening in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is Remakes, Reboots, Revivals. We're on the TikTok, I think, still, maybe? Question mark? Well, TBD. And guys, please be sure to rate us, whatever app you're listening to. It will help us, specifically me and Eddie, because Nicole will no longer be with us, so she don't give a fuck. I hope you still leave us reviews. Nicole.
I will.
You better.
And I will still promote. I'll be like, guys, this was a great episode.
Without even listening.
Granted, I think I was on vacation when you guys did Superman last. I did listen to that episode. I had no idea what you were talking about.
We were talking about hotness.
Yeah,
Who the hottest Superman?
Yeah, I think you guys
we just rated.
It was the most important metric.
Yeah, we rated them by capes or something. 4 capes or something.
We gave them a number of capes for each factor.
It was one of your thirstiest episodes.
Yes.
It was. Oh, where does David Corenswet rank amongst us? Like in the higher range or lower range?
Higher range.
Higher range. Also.
Is he one of the hotter Supermans?
He's definitely one of the hotter.
Yeah, he's
I think maybe him being so emotionally connected to the dog and humanity also kind of made him hotter.
He makes him hotter. Yeah, more than Henry Cavill.
Not physically hotter, but much more. He is a different type of hot.
Got it. Would you want to top or bottom him?
Oh no, you top this new Superman. What are you talking about?
You don't?
This new Superman, you top Henry Cavill tops you.
Yeah,
David
that's
Corenswet
comes off as top energy for sure. Sorry, this got really gay really fast.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, until next time.
Stay unoriginal.